Welcome back to Witch Daily's Countdown to Halloween, our countdown to Samhain and all things witchy. Hope you are enjoying our countdown every day and hope you are enjoying the videos and really getting into the Samhain spirit, the Halloween spirit. Today I wanted to talk a little bit about something. I wasn't going to do a video about this, but somebody sent me an email and I wanted to talk about it a little bit. They asked, how do you dry roses for making incense? And there are a couple ways. And I'm going to show you one of them. I will tell you that one of the ways that's traditional is you hang the roses upside down so that all of the rose kind of material gets into the petals themselves. I found that I have roses on my altar all the time because I keep roses for the goddess Epona because she's my patroness and roses are sacred to her. So I always have roses and I'm always drying rose petals. So just be aware that if you have roses all the time, it gets a little cumbersome to dry them. I at one point had like 6 or 7 dozen roses drying over my windows and it was just too much. So what I do is I take the petals off and I dry them. It takes about 2 weeks to dry them properly. So I dry them and mix them every day. And then at the end, I take them when they're really thoroughly dried. I separate out the ones that aren't useful and I put the good ones into my chopper and then I chop them and put them into my atelier cabinet with all of my witchy stuff. So I have a video to show you how to do that and what you can look for, and I hope you enjoy it, and I hope that this suits you as we move forward. Okay, so what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to pull the blooms off of the roses. You don't have the stems. And you're going to notice that every once in a while I pick a rose up and take it out of frame. I'm smelling it to see if it still smells like rose. Also to see if it smells bad. So sometimes the roses kind of rot from the inside of the petal. You don't want to use those in your incense. So I'm checking each one, especially the darker they are, the more likely they are to be not suitable to make incense. Now these roses are, these are red roses, and when they dry, they're going to dry black. So they are a little bit fragrant, but I'm testing them out to see if they're going to be part of our incense or part of any incense really. Even if they're not, I can use them for other things in ritual, but I like to have the kinds that smell so that I can have my choice of how I use them. You'll see I'm discarding some of them. That's if they don't smell good or don't smell at all. I'm going to throw those out. Now when you dry these, you want to put them in a bowl and you want to stir the petals and you want to put just a tiny bit of salt underneath the petals. I pick the petals first so that I know how much salt to use, and then every day you want to kind of pick through the petals like that, where you just kind of take your hands over them. Now I'm showing you some roses that are already dried so that I can show you how we're going to use them next. This is what you want to look for. You want to pull the petals off, especially if the whole flower has dried, and you want to look for this kind of brown yucky rose center, because you can't use those, but we can use the petals that were on the outside, so we're going to keep those and going to squish them a little bit and put them in my chopper. And then I'm just going to go through and pick through the dried roses, and some of them are going to be used for the drying process or stored in my atelier cabinet, and others won't. I won't be able to use everything. And that's typically how it works. There will be roses that you can't use. See, there's another blackish one down in there. And the roses here, these actually came from pink roses. And so the pink roses really dry beautifully and look stunning in the incense, which you'll see when we do the Samhain incense. But they're so pretty when they dry, unlike the red roses. The red roses dry, the petals dry they dry black. So the pink ones and the orange ones wind up being the prettiest to use in incense or other magical purposes later. So I've picked out some, and I had some from the previous day that I dried. So I'm just going to stick those in there. And I love my chopper, $15 chopper. Don't have to hurt my hands. And this is a little too broad. I'm going to probably chop it down some more, but you can see that's what it looks like. Okay, so now we've done a little drying of the roses. I hope that's really helpful to you. You can use this method for a lot of other kinds of flower petals if you want to keep them for your atelier cabinet, for your witchy cabinet. And you can use it with lavender, you can use it with sweet pea, you can use it with irises, you can use it with roses, you can use it with carnations. Just depends on what you're going to use the petals for. Not all flower petals are good to burn in incense, so just be careful. Irises in particular are really terrible. Lilies are not good. Lilies also poisonous to kitties, so if you have cats, you don't have any lilies in your garden or your house or anything. Yeah, so just make sure to check before you dry anything to make sure that you can use it in your incense or in a potion or however you plan to take advantage of it. Dandelions also very good to dry. They're really good for all kinds of different, actually they're really good to eat. They're really good in salads. So, but same thing with a few dry herbs. You can hang them upside down. I keep a lot of different herbs in my atelier. So yeah, so just use your best judgment as you move forward, but dried herbs and dried flowers are really great for most kinds of incense and potions. And I hope you enjoy making your new incense. We're going to actually use the roses that we are making today in some Samhain incense that we're going to make in the next couple of days. So I hope that really serves you well. If you need to, if you have some roses that you're drying already, then don't throw them away, because we're going to use them in the Samhain incense. Okay? And I will see you here tomorrow in your inbox, and I hope you have a wonderful witchy day. Remember to sign up at Witch Daily so you can get these in your inbox with a newsletter every day. And if you need to go back and check an old newsletter, by all means, go back and check witchdaily.com, and you'll see on the Halloween countdown we have every single one. Okay. Have a wonderful, magical day, and we will see you tomorrow.